morning, knowing many of you got in cars at 6:30 a.m. or earlier this morning from Pittsburgh and Western PA. And that 5 years after the original March for Our Lives, one thing is clear. Our movement to save lives is more powerful than ever.
We are witness to the unimaginable damage caused by firearms to patients' bodies, their lives, their families, and communities. And while tissues may heal with time, post-traumatic stress and the crushing financial debt is often carried by the victims long after the physical wounds have turned to scars.
Far too often, in my own backyard, right where I live in West Philadelphia, we are too familiar with gun violence. We are too familiar with victimization. We are too familiar with mothers losing their children and children losing their mothers. It has been happening again and again and again.
My son, Christian Lance Hamilton Arthur, he was murdered July 16, 2017, and as of today, his homicide is still unsolved.
My name is Jennifer Cox. My son was the first homicide in 2019 in Allentown. His name was Jonathan Williams. My son left behind 7 children that would never know how wonderful their father were.
21 years I've been in public education, and for 21 years I have to live by the legislation and policy passed in this building behind me. It's about time the adults that pass the legislation and policy listen to the students that are impacted by that legislation and policy.
But in recent years, this city of brotherly love has been overshadowed by an epidemic of gun violence. Anyone who has ever lived near or around Philly knows it wasn't always like this. You didn't always have to think twice before walking down the street or going to a 4th of July fireworks show. We have incredible schools in Philly. As a high school senior, I know a lot of parents, including my own, who will not let their children go to Temple or Drexel or any of the schools in the city because of the violence.